All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to lesson 15. Tomorrow's our last lesson of this module. This is just division, mostly with remainders. So we're just going to go with the traditional standard algorithm style. On your problem set, it does show you using a place value template. If you need to use it, you can go ahead and use it. If you don't need it, then I'm not going to require you use it. So the first problem we're going to come across is 7 8/10 divided by 4. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause if you don't have a piece of paper and go grab one. All right, we're going to set it up regular algorithm style. Now, as I said to you before, whether you're in Mrs. Kamessa's class or in my class, you may have learned how to do this differently. You can go ahead and learn or do it whatever way you feel most comfortable. I will still be doing it both ways, so I'll just put them side by side. So the first question I asked myself is I have 7 ones divided into 4 groups, or 4 times what gives me 7? Well, the answer is 1. That will be the same for both of them. 1 1 times 4 is 4 ones. Now, if you're in Barnes's class, you're doing that. If you're in Kametz's class and you want to stick with this method, you're doing that. So I like to fill in all the spaces so I can just subtract the whole thing. 8 minus 0 is 8. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down that decimal, put up that decimal. That is one of the most important parts of dividing with decimals, is not to forget that piece. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down that 8. Same thing with the decimals. So then I say to myself, I have tenths. I have not just 8/10, 38/10. 38 divided by 4 is not going to work out evenly. The closest I can get is 9, because 9 times 4 is 36, or 3.6. Make sure you get that decimal in there. Subtract it out. 3 8/10, or 38, if you take out that decimal, divided by 4, same story as 9. 9 times 4 is 36. Make sure you keep that decimal, because it's 36/10. And we know that 36/10 is the same as 3.6. So when you subtract it, you get 0.2. We also get the same thing here, 0.2. Now, decimals work differently. That's not a remainder. We're not going to pull it up as a remainder. What we are going to do is we're going to take our 2/10 and we're going to all of a sudden move into hundredths. So this becomes 2/10 to 20 hundredths. 2/10 to 20 hundredths. Because 20 hundredths and 2/10 is the same thing. But now we can say to ourselves, can I divide 20 hundredths into 4 groups? 4 times what gives me 20? Well, I'm in the hundredths section. I have 20 hundredths. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20 hundredths, and now I have nothing remaining. Same story here. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 times 4 is 20 hundredths, and I have nothing left. So there's no remainder. You pretty much just keep on moving out in your spaces for your decimal until you get a repeating pattern. That's something we'll definitely talk about later. But this one evened out quite nicely. All right, let's go ahead and do another one. All right, the next one we're going to do is 0.57 divided by 2. Go ahead and give yourself some time to write that down and then to put it into algorithm style. Remember, I'll do it both ways, depending on which way you want to do it. We ask ourselves 0 ones divided by 2. Well, then 0 divided by anything is 0. If I multiply, I get 0. If I subtract, I have 0.57, the same thing I started with. Some of you may choose to not even fill this in and just put a slash or put something here to hold that space. The 0 holds a space for me. If you do it Mrs. Kometz style, 0 times 2, 0. Bring down that 5. You have 5/10. So now I ask myself, how many tenths do I have? Well, I put my dot under my tenths and I draw a line to the left. I have 5/10. 5 divided by 2. 2 times what gets me close to 5, and that is 2. 2 tenths times 2 is 4 tenths, or 40 hundredths. If I subtract, I get 17 hundredths left. Over on this side, 5 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4 tenths still. Subtract, you get 1, bring down that 7. Still 17 hundredths. Next question is, how many hundredths do I have? That's a place I'm in. How many hundredths? Well, I dot and underline. I have 7 hundredths, but if I look to the left, I actually have 17 hundredths. 17 divided by 2, we know is 8, because 8 times 2 is 16 hundredths. Subtract that, I get a 1. See if the same thing happens over here. 17 divided by 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, I get a 1. In decimals, we know we cannot end with a remainder. So what we do is we turn that 1/100th, see that spacing is important, into 10 thousandths. 10 thousandths. It's like we added a 0 onto the end, not added, but we placed a 0 onto the end because we know that 1/100th is the same as 10 thousandths. That's something we have learned. So now, how many thousandths do I have? I have to extend here. I have 0. Oh, no, I have 10 thousandths. So 10 divided by 2, we know is 5. 5 thousandths times 2 is 10 thousandths. Make sure you keep your spacing in here. And that gives me nothing left. Same thing here. 10 thousandths divided by 2 is 5. 5 thousandths times 2 is 10 thousandths. Again, keep that decimal where it belongs. And you have 0 remaining. So the answer is 0.285 thousandths. To check it, we come over here. 0.285 times a 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry that 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 2 times 2 tenths is 4, plus 1 is 5 tenths. Bring that 0 over. 1, 2, 3 spaces. 2 times 0 is 0. I got the same answer that I started with. So my quotient is 0 and 285 thousandths. If this does not make sense to you, if you need help, if you don't understand why I put this 0 on here, if you don't understand that 1/100th equals 10 thousandths, you're going to need to come see me. Please don't just partner up. Otherwise, partner up and finish the problem set. Good luck.